Thank you for coming. Very excited about this upcoming season. We've got a great group of girls, a strong freshman class, and I think our leaders um, have so many different qualities about them. The whole senior class and our 3 transfers, they remind me a lot of last year's senior class. They're really different. I think they all bring something unique to all the leadership, which I love because I think in the very end of last season, I could recognize and identify the different leadership qualities that were inserted in those big moments that we needed kind of all of it, the different styles, the different people, the different voices. So I do think that's one of the strongest attributes of the team is the variety of leadership styles that we have in our senior class. So I'm excited, but there's so much unknown. There's a lot of really good teams out there, starting with Loyola. So it's going to be a great opening weekend.
Coach, we talked recently, but the quick turnaround this offseason, really, there wasn't an offseason for you and a lot of the players. Is there such thing as too much lacrosse? And I guess the start of this season, have you kind of had to pull back a little bit to make sure people are ready to go for the walk season?
We give our girls a pretty big break in the summer and over Christmas. And they know how we feel that we tell them, you guys need to go to the beach. Don't look at your lacrosse stick. Totally, take off. You have your rare Cassidy Weeks who's training her 300s 4 days after the Final Four. But for the most part, we really do try to build in that break for them because it's a part of training. And that's hard. A lot of our girls don't know how to turn it off. But no, we have not pulled back at all. I would say, if anything, we're asking more. And they've really kind of answered the bell, to be honest. I'm excited.
Can you just elaborate? You were talking about the different leadership styles.
Yeah.
Like some details on how you see that, like who does what and who's better.
Yeah. Well, when you think about our 3 transfers, we have 2 from UPenn, and then we have Mia from Brown, and the Ivy League mentality and culture is one of I think discipline, very player-led teams because of the limited hours they're allowed to have with their coaches. So I think they're really vocal about making sure drills are run the right way. They have a really strong opinion of just how practice is structured, and I think that comes from their Ivy League background. But also they're all incredibly smart, and I love that about the whole senior class. I think there's a lot of people smarts, which is really important when you're thinking about leadership, especially here, because we try to take care of the whole person. But then the girls that we have, as returners, we have Emma and Rachel, who are in their second year with us, and then you have someone like Mallory Hasselback, who hasn't been able to play because of reoccurring injuries that have broken all of our hearts year after year. So she has this incredibly unique perspective on leadership. And then Shea Baker's a junior captain, and so she brings a different perspective as a younger leader. But there's just a lot of also like Elizabeth Kirk, Emily English. Those girls are so unselfish and so team first, and they don't have all the minutes that the other guys do. But I would say they're equally as important of leaders because they are so bought in on the culture. And I love the different styles. I think we're going to need every single one of them.
Is that common for, you have transfers coming in and already, kind of asserting themselves as leaders. Is that seems unusual to me, but maybe not?
We're really open to the transfer portal. We're not out there searching. We had relationship with these guys who came in from different areas of our life. We had relationships with them or their coaches or their family, obviously with Morgan and Ryan. But we don't just take anybody. We're really kind of selective just because we're trying to hold the culture to a really high standard. And you have to take it's a risk when you take a transfer, but we've been really lucky.
I guess I just mean, I would think that someone would come in and kind of get the mood first before kind of asserting themselves, but
Oh yeah, they've done such a great job. I think all of them, Becky from last year, Julia Green, all those guys, they came in and just sort of listened, watched, sat back, and earned their roles, I think. And now the team is like, tell us more. What do you think? go for it, go score, whatever their role is. But yeah, they do such a good job.
Thanks. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
So I know you've been in this situation before where you were the champs once and now you have to defend your title. The hunger for these girls, especially those who just won last year.
Yeah.
Is it back? Is it there already, or do you have to regain that sort of?
I think the hunger is there, maybe even more so than other years, because we had this now senior class had such a dominant group of seniors ahead of them for the last 3 years that they got to follow in their footsteps. And now they're in the spotlight and it's their team. And I just think that's sort of unique. And I think the hunger is there because the storyline for us and the theme is that, we're always trying to do more for the program. So like, how do we find more? Well, we've never won back-to-back ever. And so I think that's something, it's not necessarily about being back-to-back champs, but it's about, we always put in front of them, let's achieve something we've never achieved before so that we are constantly moving this program forward. And so that's a little bit of the carrot, is just, we've never done this before. Can we do it? Can you do it? And I think they love that.
And the corollary to that is you're now it for everybody else. Do you have to present yourself differently knowing that you are the champs and they're coming to get you?
I think that we just respect every single opponent and respect sports and knowing that anything can happen on any day, and that, no lead is safe. We've learned that being on both sides of it. So I think these girls are humble. I don't think we have to remind them that everybody's, gunning for us. We've been saying that to them for years. But you never know. It's a new team. You have to keep hammering those, fundamental philosophies.
What did you learn from the last attempt to repeat and kind of the climb back to the championship?
I don't even remember that being a thing. I don't remember that being a thing, really. I know.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot from those losses. I don't know if I remember something specific about trying to go back to back, just to be honest with you.
Sure. Honesty's good.
You mentioned that there's a lot of good teams out there, and you just look at the entire country, especially in the ACC, contender. This is probably becoming every year thing for you guys, playing great teams in the ACC.
Yeah.
But this year specifically, how do you get the girls up for some of these big games?
Yeah, I think, again, we challenge them by letting them know that they don't have the crutch of this very, senior-led team that they've had for the last few years, that now the seniors, now it's on you. Now this is your team. What are you going to do with it? And I think they love that. But, yeah, I mean, seeing these ACC opponents every year, this is why these girls come to BC, is because we want that. But I think a lot of teams are young this year. But I think that makes it all relative, right? Then we're all kind of young. But, no, I'm really excited. I'm excited for this senior class. I think they're going to do something special.
And then a follow-up, you mentioned how it can help the recruiting trail. Of course, in the wake of a national championship, recruiting has to become that much easier. But has it been easier for you guys as you go on the recruiting trail?
No, it's not, actually. Everyone always says that. Like, oh, you must be able to hand pick, hand select. Like, we haven't changed how we recruit because we love the people that have been in our program and the families that have been in our program. So I think, if anything, it's a little bit harder because now everyone wants to, not everyone, but now a lot of people would choose BC. But we're still trying to, go with a fine-tooth comb to see, is this girl a BC player or is she just a really good lacrosse player? Because to me, those can be totally different things.
You talked a little bit about the freshman class. What do you think they're going to bring that's different from previous classes?
Yeah, I love our freshman class. I think they come from different places in the country, different, their schools. Some were the best of the best. Some were a little bit under the radar. But I love the personality of these guys. And we've got girls from Georgia, from Colorado, from right here in Darien. But I just think they're really athletic. They're really hungry. And I think so far over the last 6 months, they've been incredible followers. Like, they're on board for whatever. And there's no egos, which is really good and also really rare. I think they're humbled to be around the senior class and the whole team and around the tradition. But there's a lot of fun personalities. Some we're still trying to pull out because I know it's in there, but I'm really excited for them, and I love their experiences from where they come from.
We have to talk about Shay. She's still only a junior somehow. It feels like.
Which Shay? Which one?
Sorry. Yeah, right. Shay Dulce, obviously.
Yeah.
What she's done and just the amount of time she's been here is incredible. Obviously, the moment last year. How is she still getting better? Well, how do you see her still getting better every day?
I think she has internal motivation that's really driving her every single day. I think being with the U20 team and being surrounded by all those players and being led by Kelly pushed her in new and different ways, traveling overseas and then being with me on my senior team and playing around some of the nation's and world's best goalies with the best goalie, that ever played the game, Devin Wills, as her coach is different and also challenging. I don't think she's been short of challenges. So I think that's why she's improved and has also stayed so inspired.
Any more questions for Coach? All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.